Welcome to Real Flix Reviews, like a book club for people hate reading. This month's theme is random, so Ryan picked the movie Clerks made in 1994. We talk about Firefly Episode 1, and we bring you some movie news at the end of the program. This week we have Jonathan Charney, Ryan Preston,
and the old guy.
So here's what IMDb says about Clerks. A day in the lives of two convenience store clerks named Dante and Randall as they annoy customers, discuss movies, and play hockey on the store roof, which is pretty much the whole movie, honestly.
Yeah. That's it? Okay, so what movie news do you have?
I want to go first. I got to say, even Tarantino must have been jealous by the amount of dialogue in this movie, and I love Tarantino's dialogue.
Huh.
Well, this is honestly, this is Kevin Smith, and none of his movies have really changed. They all still have great dialogue. They still,
I swear there was a Josh Rogan. He's popped in one scene.
He was probably like 6 years old when this movie was made.
I don't know. 94? No.
Yeah, Seth Rogen.
Yeah, no.
No.
He was a young Jewish pup then.
I don't know. 94?
Yeah, he's only 30 something.
Yeah, he's like 31.
Yeah, he's yeah.
Yeah, he would have been 12.
So what do you? So since this is your pick, Ryan, we're gonna let you go.
Okay. I picked this movie for pretty much one reason. It's the one that got me into movies that weren't $120 million or whatever they were when I was a kid. You know what I mean? Like I was a fan of Die Hard and shit like that. Lethal Weapon. Movies that cost ostensibly $35 million a piece.
Right.
This one. I watched it, and it was black and white, so it was like art house, and it made me think, like, okay, well, they obviously meant to do this. And it's only about this one particular thing, so nothing ever said, like oh, this needed to be a big budget. And once I heard the budget was, like, what, like 12 grand or something like that, he did this movie for?
And he did it, and he maxed out all of his credit cards making this movie.
Right, yeah.
Along with, I think, hiring everybody he knew. Which is a reason why.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Much, and then it was all equipment rentals.
Which is the sole reason why Jason Mewes actually has some sort of career is because of Kevin Smith.
What was the year?
Well, that's the only reason that he ever had a career and still has a career. If he's doing anything except for an episode of Degrassi here and there.
What year was it portraying?
I think it was supposed to be 94.
It was portraying 1994. I mean, it was just
because it looked a lot older than that.
When he was like 21.
I'm assuming.
To finish what I was saying, the reason I picked it was because this is what happens when you have such a personal story.
Yeah.
Being told so efficiently is you don't need any kind of money, just the ability to tell a story.
Right.
One
camera.
If it was something as simple as two guys standing behind a counter BSing with each other.
Exactly.
I gotta say, as a guy who used to work at a video store, I worked at Hollywood Video back in the day.
I mean, even though I worked at Blockbuster, and it was like the BS version of a video store.
the conversations.
It was still the same. It was so true to life, aside from the huge vocabulary.
My favorite one was the one, where, how much does this cost and where are the new movies? Because that actually happened. You could have a sticker the size of the Death Star and people would manage to miss it. So that was my favorite.
Hey, haven't you ever gone shopping and go down the aisles and you're looking for bread and you can't find it and you look at the sign and it says bread?
Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, everybody does that.
But like at Hollywood Video, for example, all the movies were the same freaking price, and you got the same question. You had new releases and old releases.
You're right. That one was pretty dumb. That's pretty dumb. And, it's...
And the other one I always wanted to do was the scene where he was just goofing off to the customer, when she held the two movies.
Yeah.
And I forgot exactly what he said. It's I always wanted just to tell somebody, it's like, that's a stupid movie. Why are you renting that? Rent this. This is a better movie.
Well, she kept trying to ask him, which movie? I don't know.
Yeah, and then the last time was like, oh, that was one sucks. He's like, these are the same two movies. Yeah. I mean, it's what happens. Anybody who's ever worked for retail, this movie and Office Space, they're like items, You've had those conversations with customers.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
And every version of it. And, and you have that kind of righteous indignation because you work there, even though you have a boss, that's your store, and you kind of reign supreme in that, 180 square feet.
And the boss not showing up or going to Vermont,
Yeah.
I totally get that, or the boss not showing up, or the one moment you really want the boss there, and somehow, you could send out search parties, and you seem to never find them.
Yeah.
So totally.
Yeah.
And it's amazing that this movie is solely single camera and dialogue, because that's the car scene where they were going to the funeral parlor or wherever it was. It was moving back so fast that it was almost nauseating.
Yeah. But I mean, the funny thing to me about this movie, there's no stakes whatsoever. Nobody, there's no life or death. There's no,
But there's death.
great learning moment other than, a couple little things here and there between Dante and Randall when they have the snack fight. But you feel like that happens once a week.
Well, no, there was
or
one
more.
Hockey game.
Yeah.
And then the climax is pretty much the chick and the dead guy.
I was gonna say that right there is the one learning experience, that always check your restroom at your local convenience store.
Right, but it's one of those things that's like, oh man, everybody's got that kind of urban legend in their town,
yeah.
especially if it's a small town. There's always something that happened to the class 3 years before you that gets told, later on. That's just,
Oh, totally.
It was, it was. I know you're waiting for me to just absolutely pan the hell out of this movie, and I actually really enjoyed the first half. I mean, I really did. It was pretty damn funny because we all kind of lived that life. I worked retail a lot, so I know exactly, like you guys were talking about, the dumb customer. I was sharing a story with Jonathan that messing around with a customer that was trying to get into my face. And you just play games. I mean, after a while, you've dealt with it so much that you're gonna screw with them. I mean,
you
don't
have
screw with.
to be kind of a shit disturber just to entertain yourself.
Yeah. Don't be an idiot and mess with the clerk that's been there for 15 years because he's heard everything, he knows everything. He's gonna screw with you. And
The scene with the keys is hilarious. Like,
great.
have you seen the
Perfect.
keys? Keys?
What keys?
Yeah, and the other one was the
did
guy
that
looking
trick.
for the perfect eggs.
Now that was a little weird.
Well, I thought that was funny. He was a
And
counselor
the
or something.
the milk lady. Yeah, he was a guidance counselor.
That was the
high
one
school
thing.
guidance counselor. Right.
And that was hilarious. Yeah, and the lady with the milk, it's like looking for the expired
newest- yeah.
dates.
Hey,
I almost wish I knew someone who worked in like a convenience store, so I could just drag them on and say, "How close is this to reality?" Because I guarantee it's almost.
You know what
spot
I
on.
liked? You remember the beginning when he went to get the newspapers and
Yeah.
they weren't there, so he goes over where the vent and the
Yes.
machine is outside,
Yeah.
puts a quarter in, takes all the papers,
And the
throws
quarter
it-
pops back out.
Yeah, and he puts them in the store and sells them there. It's pretty funny.
And the line about them putting was it bubblegum in the locks, and they're like, "What animals live here?"
Yeah,
Savages, man.
Savages. That's right.
savages.
Savages.
That's right. What's
I've been
savages?
saying that ever since I saw that movie. I swear to God, my favorite moment in this entire film is it's tiny, but if you were looking for it, it's so funny. When the Chuli's gum guy representative,
Yeah, right.
the store right before that, there was a guy like, let me get a pack of cigarettes, and that happened a few times. Like, let me pack of cigarettes, and he pulls them down, and the guy standing next to him, and that's when he starts his whole spiel. Right after he gets like sprayed with the hose by the chick, and she kicks him out. He's still standing there, kind of coughing, and he's like, "Pack of cigarettes."
Yeah.
The way Dante looks at this guy, like, you got to be shitting me, dude. After all that, you still put a
You
pack
still
of
want your
cigarettes?
cigarettes?
Well, it's 'cause
He
he-
slams them down on the counter, throws the money in, slams the drawer.
Yep.
The funniest
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
too is all his cigarettes are right behind Dante's feet. So the guy had to buy another pack of cigarettes.
Oh yeah, they were all throwing them. If he was a smoker, he had it made, man.
I love the comment too. With that one lady said, "It's like, wait a minute, you doing this just so you can sell more gum?"
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like, that's awesome.
How much does a cigarette cost now? One cigarette. What's it cost?
I don't know. A pack's like $6.
Yeah, 680, so divide that by 20.
Okay. Somebody do that. Call us. My brain's not working for
Yeah.
that. I was just trying to figure out how much money he had on the floor there he could have picked up and sold.
Well, back then, it would have probably been about 280.
Yeah, I know. Wouldn't have been, but still, they would have been a quarter, maybe quarter. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But anyway, so yeah, a lot of that was fun, and I could actually see a couple of good buddies from high school just kind of BSing with each other, all day long, doing crap, because
Yeah.
You did it in high school. You're gonna roll right into it even after once you're out of high school, because that's the way it's gonna be.
Oh, totally.
And so so I thought all the energy of this movie was in the first half. I really loved it. I thought the first half was great, and then I think the material went stale. I think we got into super cliches. I think we got into it got really kind of boring for me.
Be careful. All the Kevin Smith fans are going to attack.
That's me. But I could have easily said, well, the only saving grace for the movie for me is it had no subtitles.
On the positive side, this movie is so much better than Clerks 2.
Oh man, hold on. I
You're
disagree.
gonna be challenged on that.
I see.
one,
I
huh?
did that on purpose. That way, at some point, he can try to defend it when we watch that movie.
Clerks
Well, I mean, dude, like you said, all the
Office
Kevin Smith
Space
fans
was
are going
big
to
about
attack. We're not going to attack, but I am a Kevin Smith fan.
I've seen every single Kevin Smith movie except maybe one. So I like Kevin Smith. I mean, I'm actually a fan of, you got Chasing Amy. I love Dogma. So he's a great director. Right. This one was really early on, so you could really see that he was just trying to fill out his style, trying to get to see what really fits his style of directing and writing.
Find his groove, find out what he, how he wanted to do it. I mean, let's face it, single camera, probably one light.
And he basically banked on the fact that this was a story that he could tell really well.
Oh yeah.
Oh totally.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's a story that he knew really well, and he is a terrific writer. I mean, the guy writes dialogue beautifully. Even though people don't necessarily talk like that, it's like Tarantino. Nobody talks like that either.
Well, maybe Tarantino.
No, Tarantino rambles. Have you ever heard that guy in an interview?
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
He's a mile a minute.
Yeah.
And my favorite part about that
and
kind
he's
of
ugly.
My favorite part is off subject is depending on the audience, the way he talks changes.
Yeah.
Watch him in front of a black audience versus a white audience. It changes.
No. I mean, well, you could tell he's just from like Los Angeles. I mean, that's just kind of how it is around here.
But
everything's so close together.
Yeah.
I love I really do enjoy how this was written. I do think I think after this scene, after the girl's funeral, I think it went downhill a little bit. But I love that scene when they get back. It's like, dude, you knocked the casket over. It's like, well, I was leaning on it, but you knocked her out of so you put her back in. It's like, that the arguments between those two are probably the funniest parts of this whole movie. The constant back and forth. And
I wanted to ask Rob something. Rob, was this the first time you've seen this movie?
Yes.
It's probably the first time you heard about
you're
it.
a Star Wars fan, aren't you?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so the argument of the Death Star,
right.
And the second one having
he was right. He was right. I mean, that was an interesting theory.
Totally.
I mean,
and you probably never thought of before, right?
Never gave it a thought. They're all bad guys.
That turned in my head for like a week after watching this movie. I'm like, shit, man, he's right.
Oh,
you can't
totally.
do that kind of construction of that magnitude with just your
stormtroopers. Yeah.
Maybe they thought
absolutely.
out some
would
of
have
the
never
clones.
thought. I never once thought about that.
Totally.
So it was like, yeah, he's right. They're probably contractors and family men,
right.
and
But it is kind of dumb shit you think of when you have 6 hours of doing practically nothing all day long.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I am surprised they never added the line. You think after twice they'd pick something different.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, something that's not round.
I don't know. But
Octagon.
some of it was really amazingly funny. I think some of the female interaction with the males, though, some of it was just like, really?
Yep.
I mean,
some of it, just read like a little bit of a stage performance because it was a little bit almost like big and slower.
The conversation about sex versus blowjobs totally reminds me of the Bill Clinton things. The whole time.
It's got to be why it was there. It's got to be during that period of time, right?
Well, that was '94. He wasn't impeached during that time.
What was his dates? We need a computer so we can check this stuff out. But this figure, where'd they come from? Where a blowjob's not sex? It had to be from the Clinton.
Because that whole part to me, I loved that. I loved that he's bragging. Well, it was only this much, and when she said that much, he's like, like 37. She's like, "You did what? How dare you!" It's like, oh, and her reaction to that was, "You think I'm bad? I'm gonna do it from every guy walking in, Her ultimate revenge was going down on every guy she saw, which, I'll be honest, I don't know any woman who would ever say that.
Then walking out the door, trying not to suck any dick on the way through the parking lot, and then the guy starts to walk towards her.
Right? I know more women that would just start throwing punches.
Yeah, unfortunately, so do I. I don't know any too many women that would get into such a beautiful verbal altercation. They would pick up something heavy.
Yeah.
Right? God, I wish James was here. I was really looking forward to him being
I'm just gonna
here.
go ahead and proxy James's vote. He likes this movie. It's a good movie. It's what started him on a fandom of Kevin Smith as well. His movies are hit and miss, but this one's solid.
Yeah, I actually really love his movies. I mean, to kind of give some of what he's about, I'm pretty sure if you're watching this episode, you know who he is. But he's done Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Dogma, Clerks, Jane, Silent Bob's Strike Back, Clerks 2.
Jersey Girl.
So he's done.
Like Jersey Girl. For real. That's a pretty sweet movie.
I love Jersey Girl. I love the little girl who does the Butcher of Fleet Street laugh.
It's freaking awesome.
So
then freaking George Carlin is the grandfather of that movie.
Yeah.
That movie's good.
Of course, I saw it on a.
George, rest in peace.
I saw it on an airplane going over the Atlantic, so I didn't have a choice but watching it. But I actually like that movie.
We all didn't have a choice, but at least it was a decent movie.
True, it could have been Geely or Geely, however you say that.
Who keeps calling you?
I don't know. You think I would remember to turn off that ringtone? The funniest thing is there's not a whole lot of people.
Call waiting. Should put it on speakerphone.
I gotta say though,
we had our other guest.
I gotta say there's other ones you don't really hear a whole lot of. You got like Brian Halloran, Jeff Anderson, Marilyn.
Well, yeah, because he basically pulled him out of New Jersey obscurity and chucked him in his movie because he grew up with them. And the only movies they've been in since, like Jeff Anderson is not an actor. The only movies he's ever done is Kevin Smith movies.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's because he begged him to do Clerks too.
I think pretty kind of the same way with the Brian Hallarama, how do you say his name? Yeah, what you said. So, what do you give this movie?
Now here we go. We're gonna get into this argument about our scoring system.
No, we're not, because it's a 3, but it's a really solid 3, and it's borderline a 4 just because it went above and beyond the budget, but it did, I did kind of drop it as much as it lagged the second half. It didn't build from the sort of the halfway point.
I would say it didn't even continue.
Right.
It slowed down.
But really, I mean, working with the budget that he had, I mean, shit, dude, I'm almost reconsidering,
Yeah.
So
it's really good for $12,000.
Oh yeah.
In 1994, I mean, $12,000, your shit would have special effects nowadays.
True.
No kidding. I mean, you got easy software. You could have had your own CGI.
Well, I wouldn't say Premiere and After Effects are easy. They're easy to get. They're
some people sit and play games. Some guys mess around with editing software.
$2,000 software.
Right? Yeah.
Sure.
So you want to know what I'm going to give it, right?
Wait. Can I guess?
Okay, go ahead and guess.
2.
No, you're wrong.
1.
No.
Wow.
That's a 3.
Yeah, it's a 3.
I'm surprised.
But I'm going to give the first half a 3 and the second half a 2.
Yeah,
because
there's
got to be a mix in there somewhere. Because really, to me, that's how the movie fell apart. But it was funny enough and clever enough, and seeing the techniques, how he was doing it, learning your camera angles. You know what was really amazing to me, and I didn't even talk about this, and I didn't even mention it to Jonathan, was the length of dialogue the two characters had to go on and continually for minutes and minutes.
Yeah.
And straight dialogue without stopping. And I'm going, I wonder how many times they took this, and or how much of this did they just do on the cuff. And because really, there was a scene where the two guys were talking. I bet they were 5 minutes into this dialogue, and all it would have taken is one oops, and had to start all over again.
It does look like we got a call from James.
To where I can tell there's a couple of stumbles here and there, but it almost just works in real life also. Like, it doesn't take you out of the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
So I
call it down.
I'll definitely give this a 3 out of 5. I love the movie. I actually really love the dialogue, considering that's all this is. But most of the dialogue in this movie is very well done. Kind of a weird pacing in some of the way the dialogue goes, but it definitely a 3 out of 5. The next one, since James not here to introduce generally his part of it, we're going to talk about Firefly.
Firefly.
And so, since this is actually Ryan's pick, we're going to make Ryan talk about.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay,
Yeah.
just completely forgetting about the.
Well,
3 minutes
you know
I
what? If you
spent.
want, you
Let me
know
go
what?
ahead and see this and-
That's okay, Ryan. I'll tell you what. I'll
No,
pick
no,
up
it's
for you,
fine.
buddy.
No,
I got it.
we're
No,
talking-
I got it. No worries. Okay, go ahead.
No, okay. Well, just remembering how it starts, it was pretty apparent that I was going to be a huge fan of this one. I was kind of a fan of Buffy when I was younger, but it was still might have been a little bit before me to get the type of satirical humor that Joss Whedon was after. But when I saw
Right.
this one, I was right on board with the whole brown coat thing and the parallels of this, future space cowboy world versus, like the old school cowboy world.
Sure. Well, it opens up in this kind of a futuristic war. Whoever they're fighting, we never did
the
find
Alliance.
out, right?
They're fighting the Alliance, right?
And I thought
whoever
they
the Alliance.
introduced the characters really, really well and made you kind of instantly know how you felt about everybody.
Yeah.
Which sometimes comes off as hokey in shows, but for this one totally worked because it was kind of trying to be hokey.
Yeah.
Well, because it's a Joss Whedon, and it was kind of it's a Western in space.
Exactly.
Right.
Space Cowboys.
I do got to say though, my favorite thing about this entire episode is nobody knows how dangerous the captain actually is. You get a glimpse through scenes when he does something, when he just gets tired of it and does things.
Really?
Ass.
That wasn't disturbing at all.
But that was really
That
my
was
favorite
funny.
part.
I was a big Firefly fan, and just super disappointed that they did.
Well, this is
I forgot how many episodes. I even read how many
10
episodes.
episodes.
Yeah. Well, this is
This is
solely
actually-
this is solely
It
all
doesn't matter.
this is solely all Fox's fault. They kind of
Yeah, I know.
they kind of humped the bunk to begin with.
Yeah, they did.
And I just want to let you know that, ladies and gentlemen, to make sure you catch next week where we talk about episode 2, and then later on when we do the Firefly episode.
So I'm
Oops, wrong
done.
button. Yep.
That's it.
Want to remind you.
Not even my best part.
Yep. It's called a tease.
Are we doing what we're doing with Band of Brothers, where we gotta watch every single episode, and then we talk about it? Because I won't remember what I remembered now.
Don't worry, I take notes.
Really?
So want to
Don't
remind you.
binge watch everything, folks.
Want to remind you, ladies and gentlemen, we do have a Facebook page. Do you like us? Hate us? Is there a movie you'd like us to do or a theme? Let us know. Do you want us to do an all spaghetti western themes? Let us know. Get back to us on our Facebook page.
And you can call. James could have called this in.
So
James.
I'm gonna do
Bad
movie.
on James.
Phone it in.
I'm gonna
Phone
do
it
movie.
in, James.
I'm gonna do movie news.
Movie news.
And this is the one that I laugh because I just saw a poster for Taken 3, and this is how it's spelled: TAK 3 backwards
Yeah.
N.
Yeah, I saw that
Yeah.
on the.
Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause that's what you do.
It's like, I think that's
Here we go again.
too many Fast and Furious movies. I am hoping, however, that it's not his, because if his daughter gets kidnapped again, you need to just lock the damn door.
Well-
No, it has to be the dog or something, or his
Uh,
neighbor.
shit. Taken 3. I mean, come on.
Are you
Again,
kidding
here
me?
we are with Hollywood. Just Taken 2 did such a great job. We got to do Taken 3. Bullshit. It bombed in the box office. They didn't make their money back. He must have had a contract that said I get to do 3 of these Taken movies. Must have.
Probably.
No,
But you see, there's this weird phenomenon that's happened recently, and I think we can call it the Fast and Furious phenomenon,
Yeah.
where the first one was okay. It was okay. The reason that I particularly hate it because I don't really like Paul Walker that much. I thought he was a terrible actor, and I'm not. It's sad.
You're not
and everything,
alone.
But
Yeah.
it just seems like you should be in like not another teen movie or something.
So you talked about Fast and Furious. Sorry, I had to reply to something real quick. Because the problem, were you talking about the Fast and Furious movies with Paul Walker? They're
Yeah.
But
The problem.
The subsequent 8 movies that
Oh,
came
yeah.
out, everybody loved because they knew they were going to be shitty, but they knew it was going to have, dopey effects and car racing and stuff. I'm the same way with Taken.
Well,
Right.
you want to know why people liked, because everybody I know who's a car guy loves Fast and Furious for one reason, because to them it's a comedy.
You know what?
And think about that, because it's true.
Fast and Furious is much better than Taken. The first Taken was good. The second Taken sucked.
The European release of Taken
The
was
second
cool.
Taken was a comedy.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's why I
So
didn't
I'm
see it.
expecting the same from the third.
Well, I'm hoping,
And it's too bad because he's such a good actor.
I have
He could do
heard-
a lot more than that.
I don't know. He was
Liam
Dark
Neeson,
Man.
right? Well,
I have heard rumors that it won't be the typical, his daughter get kidnapped. I'm hoping what happens is his
he goes
old
to
boss.
back to work for the company.
Yeah, somebody calls him back and says,
Right.
"Hey, I need you to rescue the president's daughter."
That would be so.
That's
I'm down-
probably
I'm
it.
down for that
You
right
got
now.
it. Did you read the script?
money.
No, gonna rescue Chelsea Clinton or something.
Jeez.
So that's kind of my guess. It's kind of hoping more like
Maybe.
a Red style, or just decides to go balls to the wall, maybe kind of Rambo-esque. We'll
Maybe.
see. And the next one is news I'm actually jazzed about because of the movie Tusk. Kevin
I heard
Kevin
about
Smith got green-lighted for Clerks 3. It says Kevin Smith has been beating the drum for Clerks 3 for a while. He recently told he had the screenplay for it finished. I'm actually kind of hoping. I'm actually excited-ish because the second one was kind of to me. Even though I like the Rosie Dawson or whatever her name is.
Rosie O'Donnell?
Yeah, what Ryan said. I
Who?
can't say her name right.
Rosario Dawson.
Yes.
Oh, Rosie O'Donnell.
I do
That's
actually.
a totally different person. Not even close.
I told you I can't pronounce it.
Went from a fat pig to... Oh, never mind.
Where's the
No
boo?
way.
Yeah, wait, dude. Anyway.
I need the "you suck" button. So I'm actually
There's
kind of
somewhere.
I'm kind of excited about that. That and Tusk.
Yeah, I'm really excited about Tusk too. I don't know if you saw Red State. Did you see Red State?
No, that's the one movie of his I haven't seen yet.
Okay, based on Red State and just the initial podcast where he came up with the idea, I was sold there. But Red State was such a departure from anything he's ever done, but it was so original. You know what I mean? Like, it was really original. Like, you hadn't seen really anything like that. At least, that kind of storytelling with that kind of twisted nature to it. It was
Time's up.
weird to see that mix, but he's really good at it. So I can't wait to see Tusk.
Well, that's why I was really excited
Tusk!
when I heard about Red State, but I haven't heard it. Is because it was different from what he normally does. He got away from, the mall rats and Dogma. I really wanted to see him stretch himself, so that's why I'm kind of want to see how Tusk turns out.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, watch Red State, man. I checked that one out for sure.
And next week is the old guy.
Hey.
So
Hey.
apparently it's a Fat Albert movie by that
Wait a
response.
minute. Let me see. So I have two that I was gonna. So I left a hint. I was gonna do Driving Miss Daisy, and I thought that's a great movie, but that's not the way I want to go. I want to go a little tougher, a little, stronger, a little more dramatic, a little more gritty.
Rambo 1.
That being said,
It's
Driving
Tron.
Miss Daisy.
So I had two choices, and this was one. You can't probably read it, and I know you can't, Ryan, because you don't have your camera on. But I decided it's a 1981 classic, Das Boot.
Wow. I haven't seen that movie in a long ass time.
Didn't we watch Das Boot?
No.
Oh no, we watched like Hunt for Red October or something.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
I don't think
but
we've
Das
done,
Boot.
I don't think we've done that one either.
Yeah.
No, we did Run Silent, Run Deep.
Yes.
Oh.
I knew there was a submarine in there
All right.
somewhere.
Hunt for Red October would
Surprised
be
you
a
didn't
good
sleep.
choice. We ought to put that on our choice of movies.
Oh man, watch what's his name do a terrible Russian accent.
Yeah, that's okay. But
You also
but
missed the one with Denzel Washington.
so you
Das
got
Boot. We don't have to do the director's cut, do we?
to
That thing's like 4 hours long.
should.
I know, right?
No, you don't have to. But the fact is that this movie comes as close, and it's from the Germans that were in these boats. Talk about that this is as close to being true to life as you get, and some of the stuff that they did and what they went through. And I thought it's time to see this movie again, and so that's my random pick.
I'm just hoping I get to see a Crazy Ivan. Read that up. You missed it. So, ladies and gentlemen, I gave the movie Clerks a 3 to 5. Ryan gave it a 3 to 5. Rob gave it a 3 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
Next week, we shall hear what James gave it.
Most likely a 3 out of 5.
Probably,
Or
or a 4 out of 5.
4 to 4.
He'll give it a 4. I bet.
He has a soft spot for Kevin
Knowing
Smith,
him.
right between his ears. Next week, we're also doing episode 2 of Firefly. And as always,
It'll be fun.
we'll see you
Shazam!
next week.